Hey, this is Raw Spoon. These are my thoughts and stories from my blog. Enjoy! So I was reading in Exodus 7 when um, Moses and Aaron throw their staff down in front of Pharaoh and it turns into a snake to show their sovereignty, their God's sovereignty. Well, I started thinking about the other symbols of snakes and staffs in the Bible, and it led me on this really interesting journey. It starts in the Garden of Eden when there is a snake at the bottom of the tree. Then it leads all the way up to, through several more instances, that it gets higher and the snake gets higher and higher in the tree until it's Jesus on the cross. All right, here we go. So first of all, we see Satan as the snake in the Garden of Eden. So he's the symbol of sin, which tempted and made Adam and Eve fall into sin. But he's at the bottom of the tree, not yet in the tree. In fact, Adam and Eve are reaching up into the tree themselves for something greater. Like something greater up in the tree is waiting. All right, the second place where I saw the snake show up was Moses and Aaron throwing the staff down, it becoming a snake so that Pharaoh gives them enough credibility eventually to let them go. So in this case, we have a staff that turns into a snake, kind of as a symbol of Pharaoh's sin against them, but this time a snake in the era of Pharaoh and ancient Egypt was a symbol of power and sovereignty. So when Moses and Aaron threw down the snake and it gobbled, or threw down the staff, it became the snake. It gobbled up the other snakes of his other necromancer buddies, the Pharaoh's friends, the wise men. It shows that their God, the God of Moses and Aaron, is more sovereign than Pharaoh's God. So here we started at the Garden of Eden when the snake is a symbol of sin. Then we have the symbol of sin that God is using to show his sovereignty over the greatest worldly kingdom that was out there. Then we have the next time we see the staff turned into a snake is when King Hezekiah found it. This staff had been kept and the people were worshiping it, and he's like, wait guys, no, you're worshiping the symbol, not the God that this symbol was supposed to be representing. So he destroyed that symbol, and then I'm checking my notes here. Eden snake, bottom of the tree. Okay, so at that point we have the symbol of the snake not yet lifted up. Oh, I forgot to say that the before Hezekiah lifted up that staff, it was actually the staff that had been used in the desert when all of the Israelites were getting bitten up by snakes and it was killing them in mass numbers. Moses was told by God to lift up a staff with a bronze snake at the top of that staff, and anybody who looked at that snake would be healed from their snake bites. So we have the snake being lifted up now. We have this symbol of sin, Israel's sin, that brought the snakes upon them, being lifted up now, and it's like this snake takes on the sins of the people. And we have it starting from the ground in the Garden of Eden, then being thrown in front of the king, the sovereignty, the symbol of God's sovereignty being associated with the snake. Then we have the sovereign snake being lifted up as an object of sin, lifted up on a staff, like being lifted up on a tree, symbolically. And this new snake is the receiving symbol of Israel's sin. Then we have the part when Hezekiah realized that the people started to worship that symbol instead of worshiping the God that it was meant to foreshadow, because then we have Jesus being lifted up on a tree and taking the sins of us. And now we have the full telos. This is the ending of this redemption of this snake symbol, that now Jesus is the one lifted up fully on a tree that all of us can look upon and be saved. So that is like the general arc of this symbol of snake and tree that I saw, and thinking it was cool how the symbol, even our God has even transformed the symbol of sin into redemption, where Jesus was in a tree, crucified on a tree, and then resurrected to show that he is bigger and greater than the symbol of snake or tree. Now, that's my conclusion, but here's a side note that's interesting. We see the symbol of healing on a lot of like hospitals or immediate med type clinics, where you see a staff with a snake wrapped around it. That may have some roots in this story of Moses and the lifting up the snake for healing, but it's been proposed by some people, but then other people say it comes from a more ancient symbol from Hermes, Hippocrates, Asclepius, and some other ancient, I think, Greek or other ancient symbols. So there are some parallels there, which brings up some interesting questions about how Moses or God decided to use that snake on a staff as a symbol. But these days, we have mistaken the symbol of healing for the snake on a staff with two wings on it, or two snakes on a staff with two wings on it. And that is a ancient symbol that symbolizes success in commerce and thievery. It was admitted, you can look it up, admitted that I think it was first used in the military medical field, and they made a mistake then that they were using the one with the two snakes and two wings, because it should have been just the staff with a snake on it. But it's funny and kind of ironic that the symbol with wings, with a snake and a staff, being a symbol for success in commerce and thievery, among some other meanings, is maybe a little bit of a symbol of where our healthcare system is at right now. It's too bad that it's turned into such an engine for money. Anyway, there is sort of a wandering analysis of the symbol of snakes and staffs. Enjoy.